There are over 300 bank robberies in Boston every year. Most of these professionals live in a 1 square mile neighborhood called Charlestown.
Miss Kesey, I would like to start with your abduction.
4 men made me open the safe. They took me as a hostage.
Were you able to see anything at all through the blindfold?
No.
It was a very, very rough place, but also a place of a very strong kind of community.
I hear you got a sweet new girlfriend.
And, you know, he kind of self-destructed. You know, he was poisoned by a relationship with his father and by having his mother, you know, he believed ran off when he was young, which probably created a sense of insecurity. And so he sabotaged himself, you know, basically, even though he knew it wasn't good for him, even though he knew he wanted to get out, he was doing it despite himself. And that's kind of where we find him.
So do your parents still live here?
My mother moved away, my father, he don't get out much.
Everything he does is very calculated. Yes, he hurts people.
If we get jammed up, we'll hold him court on the street.
He's a wild card for sure, but I guess there's accountability to everything he does.
Doug and Jem have a very complicated history and backstory.
You grew up right here. Same rules that I did.
These 2 old friends who have become really different people and are not people that would be friends if they met now, but because they have this history that goes way back of loyalty and friendship and love, they're bound to each other now.
Secret's this way.
And what you start to discover is that there's some debt that we feel that Doug owes Jem and that he's always sort of holding over him. And over time, you find out what that is. And eventually, Doug has to be free of that.
Get that in your head!
My initial challenge with her was to not make her savvy and manipulative, but not looking sort of doe-eyed and innocent and dumb at the same time.
Okay.
Just having a bad week.
I like to have a good cry at the nail salon.
Krista is Doug's bad ex-girlfriend, so she's grown up around these tough guys that are bank robbers.
You used to hang around with Doug McCrae a little bit, huh?
How do you know Dougie?
I work for the FBI.
I think it's an interesting dynamic between my character and Ben's character. There is obviously this third party in between us, and there's a lot more going on.
Bank Boston, Cummings Armored, Arlington Brinks, Cambridge Merchants.
He is a Boston detective, and he's in a task force to try to solve the bank robberies.
Frawley is this guy who kind of doesn't really have anything else going on in his life except this. He's not from there. He kind of has a little bit of contempt for this whole idea of this whole thing of Charlestown, of like these guys, this culture. He just doesn't even buy it. Dino is from Charlestown and has the like sort of local perspective. They kind of work together well.
He is so smart and so intuitive, and acting alongside him is just so great because, you know, he keeps it rolling. He makes you feel comfortable, and he's just like such a happy, excited person that you want to do well for him.
It's hard to talk about Ben as a director and as an actor, and it all sort of blends to me. Most of the time it feels like I'm working with one of my best friends, and we're just got a camera and we're shooting a little short film on the weekend. We go to the monitor, we watch the stuff. I mean, it's so relaxed.
It's an interesting movie because on the one hand you have this kind of outer shell that's about cops and robbers and robbing banks and heist. But inside, what's more interesting in a way to me is it's about a guy who wants to change his life. It's about a guy who's trying to deal with the legacy of what his parents left him, in effect. And that's like a legacy of pain and a legacy of being stuck in a place that he doesn't want to be. I think that is something that a lot of people can identify with.
I just want you to know that you're going to die in federal prison.
The Town, playing this month only on Warner TV. The world's best television.